Oh. Most of the students in Nagaland are pursuing a degree in humanities or in social sciences. And there is a huge disparity between the humanities and social sciences and the students in the STEM. And for that, we need to find a major overhaul in the education system, emphasizing more on STEM. This is because the job requirement, the job market needs students from STEM and other fields, but most of our students are engaged in pursuing degrees in humanities and social sciences.
Academic linkages, one of the key areas where we found holes is definitely that Nagaland is lacking in industries. So we don't have long-term providers, for this kind of internship or skill-related training. And unfortunately, the 500 plus students that went for internship this particular semester, which was overseen by the internship committee in our college, in Unity College and in other colleges also, one of the main problems was we did not have many industries to come forward, or we did not have large scale, employability, skill-based institutions or providers. So the lack of platform is definitely telling as far as our state is concerned, and I'm sure the stakeholders that we have here in the form of our officials here will also take this into account.
Another area that we discussed, keeping in mind the Nagaland context, is the second type of internship, that is research internships. If we don't have hands-on training institutes, we always have the option of research internship, which is and should be encouraged considering the quality of students, the nature of students that we all seem to be facing. Students these days don't want to read.
Today, it was definitely a very productive session. It's on skill development and enhancement of our university, of our colleges, especially with the courses. And that's in the context of NEP 2020. So we have never had this sort of interaction between the academia, the government, and also the principals included. So there was a discussion on diverse range of issues, especially with internship and skill development, and also the academia industry linkages also. So it was really productive.
I take this privilege on behalf of the Department of Political Science, RIS and Netra Foundation. We extend our warm greetings and welcome you all to SJU conference on skill development and internship. I now invite Dr. Achanger to address the welcome and team address.
Take this opportunity to deliver a short note on the theme of the conference on skill development and entrepreneurship. This conference has been organized on the framework of NEP 2020, which recognized the importance of skill development and internship in shaping a skilled and employable workforce for the 21st century. The policy focuses on providing holistic development and employment readiness, fostering entrepreneurship in innovation, enhancing industry-academic collaboration, addressing the skill gaps, and to promote the concept of lifelong learning. Thus, the NEP 2023 policy on skill development in internship holds significant promise, and its success hinges on how effective implementation needs to be done to overcome and address issues such as inadequate infrastructure and resources, alignment with industrial needs, quality of the internship, funding and financial constraints, curriculum integration and flexibility, teacher and trainer shortage. To overcome these issues, it has become essential that government, educational institutions, and industry players collaborate and devise effective strategies for implementing skill development and internship that meets the demand of both students and employers. Furthermore, in our states Nagaland, due to the structural constraints in limited industries, companies, and professional agencies, we often face problems and challenges in implementing a robust mechanism for industry and academia linkage on skill development and internship. Thus, the concept one size fits all approach to skill development and internship may not be effective. Therefore, the idea of whether there's a need to focus on tailoring the skill development program to specific regions need to be addressed and explored through a wider platform. This approach will not only take into consideration the unique needs and resources of each region, such as industry, natural resources, and cultural strength, but also it will ensure that individuals are equipped with the right skills to promote and preserve the cultural heritage of the region, thereby creating a ripple effect of development in the region. On this framework, as highlighted in the program brochure, on the key thrust areas and objectives, the conference aimed to explore the key aspects of NEP 2020 on skill development and internship, how different institutions in Nagaland implement and adopt strategies on skill development and internship. And lastly, on the challenges often faced by institutions in the implementation process through the group-wide discussion, interactive session, so that the knowledge and insights gained from this conference workshop can be applied practically for the governmental and non-governmental institutional settings for policy makings and effective implementation of identifying the skill gaps, program design curriculum, partnership and collaboration, monitoring and evaluation, to create a more skilled workforce, to foster economic growth, and to improve the overall well-being of the Naga society. So I once again welcome each one of you and look forward for an engaging and productive conference. Thank you.
I, on behalf of the department, bring greetings to each and every one of you. And also, I would really like to thank you for inviting for this seminar. See, skilling, as far as skilling is concerned, we know that skilling things was always there from before. But from our perspective, I think we are just at the beginning. Today, we as a department came here, but we came here to learn. We're not here saying that we know everything. What I could see is that including the government departments, the institute, the training center, university, everyone, we are in transition stage. And I think this is the right way of platform, right way of sharing our experience and visualizing how we go forward. So I want to congratulate for all those persons who are responsible for coming with this concept. And I guess while doing all these things, I think the awareness, the problems, the visions, all these things, I guess we will be sharing in the next session. So we are very much looking forward to that. As a department, there are many projects, schemes, ideas, concepts coming in the field of skill development. This year, the government, if we see the budget presentation of this current financial year, we will see that there is a lot of money put in for this skill development sector. So I guess we have to link the department, the government department, and a university like this, so that all those benefits are really transferred into the targeted person through all of us. So I think these are the kind of things which we need to focus more. So from the department side, whenever we are prepared, if needed, we are always ready to come, we are always ready to help, and I think St. Joseph is that in this respect well ahead of others.
At the very outset, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Shri Engineer Avanti Sankar, Joint Director, Directorate of Employment, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of Nagaland, Burma, for gracing us with your presence despite the busy schedule. I would also like to acknowledge our guest of honor, Shri Mukundulu, Executive Assistant Project Officer, Director of Employment, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of Nagaland, Burma, for your presence. And special thanks to Dr. Achamar, Associate Professor and Head of Political Science Department, for the welcome and team of the conference address. I would also like to thank Ms. Moni, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, for wonderfully chairing the inaugural session. And special thanks to the SJU choir for melodiously leading the university anthem. And most importantly, I would also like to extend my profound thanks to the RIS, Research and Information System for Developing Countries, and NATRA for sponsoring this SJU conference on skill development and internship. And I would also like to acknowledge all the principals from different colleges, the HOD from different departments, for consenting to be a part of this conference. I would also like to acknowledge the media personnel from FNN for covering this event. And I would also like to give my special thanks to the university management for giving us this opportunity to organize this SJU conference. Last but not the least, special thanks to all the volunteers out there for wonderfully taking care of this program. Thank you once and thank you and have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Quickly, I am from Group 1. My name is Dr. Chubatila, Principal St. John College. And in our group, we have Dr. Abu Lungu, IQAC Coordinator from the Dimapur Government College, Dr. Vitsoyano, Principal, Modern College, Dr. Arokia Dos, HOD Chemistry, St. Joseph University, and Dr. Lirla Sampton, HOD Botany Department, SGU. We have just structured our presentation into three broad areas. Firstly, we discussed the nature of internships undertaken by students in our institutions. Secondly, we discussed the problems that we faced, and thirdly, some feedback and what is the way forward. So, some of the major internships taken were skill-based trainings such as basket weaving, pottery, pickle making, handicrafts, sound system management, orchard management, mushroom cultivation, various trades at the Nagaland Tool Room and Training Center, various computer skills from Lilith, internships from various educational institutions, including primary, middle level, and even Montessori schools. Internships from Regional Ayurveda Center, cutting and tailoring, advanced beautician courses, repair of home appliances. These are mainly from the Dimapur Government College. Some of my students also did internships from the Nagaland Rural Bank, and some did office maintenance, filing of office records, and so on. There were many problems faced since we are all new to this, but the major problems that stand out is the limited internship providing organizations, especially in rural or interior areas, and also one common problem that was faced was that students end up paying for their internships instead of them getting paid. So that was, we found that this takes a lot of financial toll on especially students from weaker economic backgrounds. The time frame issues. So unless the internship is done during the summer break, it becomes difficult for students to undergo internships. However, if we restrict it only to summer break, again, some kind of internships might face problems, especially those that has to do with teaching assignments, if it coincides. Major feedback. So, first and foremost, we need better streamlining, better relationship between government departments, industries, organizations, and educational institutions. Secondly, internships has to be context specific because the NEP 2020 is quite open. It's not very restrictive about the nature of internships, and we believe that it is done so intentionally keeping in mind the rural areas. So we have to explore areas such as agriculture, such as students, like is stated already in the NEP, students working with government departments, students studying various governmental schemes and projects, and so on. And here, faculty and institutions have a major role to play in guiding them. Institutions also have to research avenues with employability opportunities. We have to make sure that whatever skills they're acquiring is commensurate to their educational qualification. Another area that we discussed, keeping in mind the Nagaland context, is the second type of internship, that is research internships. If we don't have hands-on training institutes, we always have the option of research internship, which is and should be encouraged considering the quality of students, the nature of students that we all seem to be facing. Students these days don't want to read. Lastly, institutions have to follow the NEP guideline in setting up the internship committee with the research and development cell and officer, which will obviously simplify and ease the internship process. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sitting here on behalf of the group 2, and our group has mostly focused on the 3 key trust areas of the conference. And the first key trust area regarding the industry academia linkages. Now, we have focused on some challenges on each key trust areas, and at the end we have made some suggestions. So, the first challenge with regard to industry and academia linkage is with regards to the practical problems, practical issues in implementing the program. Now, one issue is that there is a lack of industries or fields in Nagaland available to fulfill the needs of the students, the various different kinds of skills to develop. And the second point is, most of the students in Nagaland are pursuing a degree in humanities or in social sciences. And there is a huge disparity between the humanities and social sciences and the students in the STEM. And for that, we need to find a major overhaul in the education system, emphasizing more on STEM. This is because the job requirement, the job market needs students from STEM and other fields, but most of our students are engaged in pursuing degrees in humanities and social sciences. Internship and apprenticeship. Now, there is a need to identify the gaps and needs of the market and equip the students with the skills according to those needs in the job market. And the internship, to follow that, we need to follow these two aspects of internship: observation and practical. Observation means to spend some time of the internship for the student to observe the workplace and to identify the various problems or various needs of the job market, and to spend the other half of the internship developing skills for those. And because of that, I think one semester of internship with 60 to 120 contact hours may not be sufficient to actually be able to implement this method. Skill development and employability. Now, according to the NEP 2020, the FYUGB course which has been introduced in Nagaland University, the various SECs and VSCs have been introduced. Now, the onus is on the HEIs, the colleges, to make sure that these SECs are not just theory papers, but to incorporate practical aspects to these papers. To not just teach in the classroom, but to send out the students to develop practical skills as well. Also, as discussed about the various gaps and needs earlier, the various HEIs must study those gaps and develop new syllabus or new papers according to these requirements. Now, some suggestions: soft skills and hard skills development. We need to develop the students' mindset, change in the mindset of the students, make them develop work ethics and the temperament to work. And there is also a need for change in the mindset, not just in the students, but the educators as well. There is a requirement for proper orientation of the NEP to the students and all the stakeholders. This is both the parents, the guardians, and everyone involved. And also, it is important to record all the observations, the findings, and the feedbacks of the internship programs, the apprenticeships, and make a report and send to the concerned authority for further development. So this, briefly, this is the presentation by Group 2. Thank you.
Esteemed guest of honor and the chief guest, my esteemed colleagues and students, and everybody from academia. It's a privilege for me to stand before you. I'm Dr. Mankala Longchar. I teach English in Dimapur Government College, but I've come here representing the Skill Development Committee as a convener, and I have my two colleagues with me. During our discussion, I had with me the principal of Unity College, also a representative of Mount Mary College, and the HOD of social work from this university. One of the key areas where we found holes is definitely that Nagaland is lacking in industries. So we don't have long-term providers, for this kind of internship or skill-related training. And unfortunately, the 500 plus students that went for internship this particular semester, which was overseen by the internship committee in our college, in Unity College, and in other colleges also, one of the main problems was we did not have many industries to come forward, or we did not have large-scale, employability, skill-based institutions or providers. So the lack of platform is definitely telling as far as our state is concerned, and I'm sure the stakeholders that we have here in the form of our officials here will also take this into account. That we have had collaborations with organizations like the NTTC, the Business Association of Nagas. These are just a few institutions, but we have had large-scale collaborations, and we have even had, as less as 2 pupils or 2 interns for one, business. Okay, so that's, we really had to brainstorm, and the internship committees of our respective colleges and institutions have done the needful in getting, these collaborations, because it's really been quite challenging otherwise. With regard to skill development and employability, I proudly stand here saying that, our college is the only mainstream college in the entire Nagaland that has been recognized as a skill hub under the National Skill Development Corporation. And so far, I can safely say that we are running this program quite successfully. We have had multiple tie-ups with industry, with providers, and so far students have been quite productive. They've done tailoring, they've done IT, they're in the process of completing beautician training, they've received the certification, which is a globally accepted certificate. With regard to placements, we always, because most of the colleges that are represented here are the mainstream colleges, not really strictly vocational colleges, but our credo in offering these kinds of internships to students is that together with their academic knowledge, they can also have that extra employability or even extra skill. So certain basic skills are given to the students with which they can equip themselves, and they can add more vibrancy to their chosen vocation.
It was a well-structured presentation by all the groups. By the way, there is a paucity of time, but I hope there is no harm in introducing myself. I'm Mr. Keto Udo, Assistant Professor from Department of Political Science. In the initial part, due to time constraint, I missed out to introduce, so sorry. And with the presentation done, I think we will move on to Q&A session. So in case if there is any questions, you can please put up your questions, and I believe that we are honored to have the 2 guests with us, our chief guest and guest of honor. So I hope they will be clearing up your doubts. So if there is any questions, please.
Arumshi Sankam and Magustule Sohe for accepting our invitation, taking out your time from your busy schedule, and enlightening all the participants with your valuable inputs and maybe some inside information about how the government works. Thank you, sir, for your valuable inputs. I would also like to thank this time to all our delegates. I think without your presence, this conference would not have been completed. So thank you all for your valuable suggestion. I would also like to thank all my colleagues, research scholar from the Department of Political Science, for your support and assistance for organizing this event successfully. I would also like this time to thank our management for always encouraging us, pushing us, and helping us with all the assistance. Dean is there for pushing us all the time, Dean of Academics, Scantily, for helping us, supporting us, and encouraging us to organizing such kind of programs for the welfare of the students. Thank you to the SJU choir members. I will take this time to especially thank our HOD, Dr. Achavar. He was behind the reason for the successful conduct of this program. All the concept notes, all the academic work, or all the writing part, he has done that. So thank you, sir, for your valuable contribution. I would also like to thank my organization, Netra, and the sponsoring agency, RIS, for helping us financial support and for their inputs for organizing such kind of programs. I would also like to thank my students, PG third semester, for taking care of the hospitality. Thank you very much for your valuable contribution. And lastly, I'd like to thank all of you for making this SJU conference on skill successful with your presence. Thank you all.
Hello everyone. Mohanija Dr. Dominic Lode. He is the principal of Eastern Christian College. So, ajila session dukina dekhe taila opinion side do ne.
Thank you so much for having me. Today it was definitely a very productive session. It's on skill development and enhancement of, of our university, of our colleges, especially with the courses. And that's in the context of NEP 2020. So we have never had this sort of interaction between the academia, the government, and also the principals included. So there was a discussion on diverse range of issues, especially with internship and skill development, and also the academia industry linkages also. So it was really productive. It was really helpful also. And one of the things that we learned, and one of the things that it's not exactly a commitment from the government, but they were willing to help us, they were willing to support us if we come up with a proposal. And at the end of the day, that is for the students. At the end of the day, that's to ensure that NEP 2020 is implemented in a very dynamic manner. Yeah.
So what do you think the colleges and like universities could do better to enhance this facility?
Oh, yes, yes. Even exactly those things were discussed. How can we make it better? How can we implement the policy together or better? So, three, four things here. The first thing is that orientation and counseling, even in the colleges, even beyond classroom, that's also required. So, unless we change the mindset, it's not possible for us to implement this policy. In fact, for us to see the real outcome of this policy. So the main challenge is to change the mindset of the people, especially the students. The other thing is for the government to be supportive, as well as for the NGOs or churches or other institutions or other private bodies to be supportive. At the end of the day, we rely on those hand-holding institutions. So that is what is required. So if we have all the things in place, I'm sure we'll be able to accomplish our mission.
Thank you, sir.
Well, the initiative of today's conference by the Department of Political Science at St. Joseph University has been quite fruitful. It was much needed, and we as heads of institutions from different colleges of Dimapur, we have gained a lot in terms of learning and knowing where we are vis-a-vis other colleges. And also since the entrepreneurship and internships of students is quite new to all of us with the NEP 2020 and the stipulations under the 4 years undergraduate program. We're all new to this, so we've learned from each other, and also this has helped broaden our understanding of what internships can mean and how we can navigate this in partnership with various departments of the government as well as other institutions. And especially it was beneficial because of the officials, the joint director and the TBD project officer, the director of skill development and entrepreneurship from the governor of Nagaland were here. They gave us a lot of data and ground reality on the scenario of unemployment in Nagaland. So this has been quite enlightening for me personally, and of course the discourse and the interaction is just beginning, but this is a wonderful start, and we hope that organizations, associations, and various entities who are in a position of offering any kind of internships so as to have a more vibrant and skilled youth force can come about in Nagaland. So we are hopeful. Thank you so much.